Welcome back. Now I'm here in my content folder in Blueprints, Ability System, Gameplay Effects, Default Attributes. Now these are default attributes used by Aura, but we're going to want default attributes used by our enemies as well. So to make sure we know which ones are which, I'm going to make a new folder called Aura. And I'm going to take Aura's gameplay effects and move them into the Aura folder, clicking move here. And now I can make a new folder called Enemy, and this can be for the enemy gameplay effects. Now here we can create our primary attribute gameplay effects. I'm just going to create a primary attribute gameplay effect for each of our classes. So I'm going to search for gameplay effect. And this will be GE underscore, and we're going to call this primary attributes underscore elementalist. And I'll create one for the other classes as well. So gameplay effect. This will be GE primary attributes warrior. And we'll have another one. Selecting gameplay effect, GE primary attributes ranger. So we have one for each class. Now the secondary attribute gameplay effect could really just be the same one shared among all classes, unless you want to tweak those coefficients in the calculations made by the modifiers. And the same goes for the vital attributes as well. So if we go back out and look at Aura, and we have Aura secondary attributes, we'll see that we have all these relationships mapped out, and coefficients and pre and post multiply additive values are set for our derived attributes. Armor is related to resilience with these attributes. Now, if you want this to be different for each character class, then you could go and make a secondary attributes gameplay effect for each class. If you don't want to do that, however, we could share the same secondary attribute class among all classes, including with Aura. So what we could do is rename Aura secondary attributes, and we can just simply call this GE secondary attributes and share this among all classes. That's going to save a lot of time if you don't want to go and map out these coefficients per character class. But in an RPG game, you may very well want to do this, have different coefficients for each class and have them change differently, even use curve tables for each of them. That's up to you. I'd like to save some time and use the same relationships between our attributes for all classes, and we can do the same thing for vital. So I'm going to rename this gameplay effect from Aura vital attributes to just GE vital attributes, and these can be shared. And I can take these both and move them out to default attributes and move here. So now these can be shared among all classes, and that includes the enemies. And now that we have some gameplay effects, we can set those in our character class info. So for the primary attributes under Ranger, I'm going to expand this and use GE primary attributes Ranger. We'll use primary attributes Warrior for the Warrior, and primary attributes Elementalist for the Elementalist, and secondary attributes can be GE secondary attributes, and vital can be GE vital attributes. And those will be shared among all enemies. Excellent. Now, these are empty gameplay effects. Aside from secondary and vital, those are shared among all characters, including Aura. But we're going to need to add some modifiers to these gameplay effects, and we'll do that next. So great job, and I'll see you soon.